Hello there, Scotty. You're not. I'm gonna turn this off till I need it. Welcome back to Final Destination Revisited. We are on Final Destination 2 today. And, yeah. So, this movie came out 3 years after the original. James Wong and Glenn Morgan did not return. They're busy with Jet Li's The One and the remake of Willard, which is a good movie. So instead, David R. Ellis was brought in to direct. And yeah, I think this is why we got such a. Why we have the opening visions that are so. We dedicate to this person gets killed, and this person, and this person, and this person. Because David R. Ellis was a second unit director. So he knew how to put this stuff together. And that's why it looks so good. Why every time you watch this, you just go, because it's just so, nah, But yeah. And despite coming out 3 years later, it takes place exactly 1 year after the events of Flight 180. So, in the timeline, this is actually 2001, which there's a little continuity issue. We'll get to it. But, other than that, no big problems here. I like this movie. Like I said, the first two we had on the shelf at home at my grandma's. So I was able to watch all this. Both of these. And then we got three, so yeah. So you think about it, there's a 3 year difference with all of these. 2000, next one 2003, the third one 2006, the fourth one 2009, and then 10, 11, 12. Five came out in 2011, right? Shit. Wait a year. Yeah, 2011. Hold on. Moment, please. Had to pause it so I could go put the Blu-ray set back there because not wearing pants. I'm underwear on, but figured you're only gonna see up here anyway. You're gonna see. Not only gonna think about that for this whole time. I try to make this shorter than the last one. I did not intend the first review to be an hour long. So, taking place 1 year later, we follow Kimberly Corman, another horror name nod. Roger Corman, rest in peace. Right now, yeah, she and her friends Shayna, Dano, and Numbnuts. I call him Numbnuts. What's his name? Frankie. Are going on a road trip to somewhere. I don't remember where they're going, but to a beach or something. They're on a road trip to somewhere. And I want to point out these characters specifically because when we talk about Smallville, all three of these actors have been on there, I believe. Let's look at Sean Sipos here real quick. He was Adam Strange on Krypton. He's in the Skulls 3. Was he on? Smallville. Chloe's boy thing. Rush. Oh! Right. He was in the episode Rush. Chloe's boy thing. The guy that she's making out with. That's right. Rush. That's the one where they find the weird creature in the caves. And it hits her and Pete and Lana. Right. Right. He was the boy toy, the guy she was making out with. Very I'm sure that's his best role he's proudest of the most. And we have Alex Ray, who was also on Smallville, and he was the guy who got his fat sucked out. Right? By, was it season 1? Was it the Amy Adams episode, I think, right? And then Sarah Carter, the lovely Sarah Carter, was, of course, why can't I remember her goddamn name? Tina? No, that was Alicia. Alicia on Smallville for 3 episodes. So, and she was also the female version of Cicada on The Flash. On The Flash! So yeah, and they're on the road trips. We see everybody driving down the road. We meet our principal cast. AJ Cook is also Kimberly Corman. We know her from Criminal Minds. We have Michael Landis, who plays Officer Burke. Thomas Burke, we just know as Burke. He was the first Jimmy Olsen on Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, which I know is a touchy subject due to that the Superman actor, he's making all the wrong decisions, isn't he? And then we have Evan Lewis driving his Firebird car, played by David Padko, who was in a piece of shit movie as a piece of shit. He played a piece of shit in a piece of shit movie. I'll always know what you did last summer. He's been in other things too. I think he was even on Smallville. Hold on. He was on Supernatural. He was on Supernatural in Alien vs. Predator, Requiem. He was in Man of Steel. What? So weird. The vampire episode, I guess. Smallville. 2 different characters. Trevor Chapel, Officer Danny Turpin. Don't know who Trevor Chapel is. He was in Stargate SG-1. Lyle Pender, Forsaken. I don't know. Yeah, he was Mark Campbell in Supernatural. 2 episodes. Before they killed off the Campbells. But yeah. Yeah, that's really that. And the wrong. I want this one, not that one. Alright. And then we have mother and son couple, Nora Carpenter, John Carpenter, and her son, played by Linda Boyd, who was Sean's mom in Tokyo Drift. I think she's also been on Smallville. I think. Linda Boyd. She's in a lot of stuff. Yeah, Mrs. Baker, Obsession. Mrs. Baker. Obsession. That was season 4, right? Or 5, when he's reading. I don't remember. She was in that one. She's been in plenty of other things too. We have Keegan Connor Tracy as Kat, who is driving and talking on her phone, which is a no-no back then. We didn't know any better. We should have. And then we have Jonathan Cherry as my favorite character, Rory, who you may know from another piece of shit movie, Uwe Boll's Dead. Why can't I remember shit? House of the Dead. Why can't I remember? And then Eugene T.C. Carson plays Eugene. He's the original God of War. The original Kratos, God of War. And you does that too. He does that. Yeah, and then there's Justina Machado as Isabella Hudson. I think I want to see her in this and one of the Purge movies. Is Anarchy? One of them. Anyway, they're all going down the road, and we have or Vision. The Vision. Yeah. So this does. People ask why I don't drive. I guess I'm still a passenger, but this. If you ever go behind a log truck, don't. Because that's how it starts. He spills his coffee. A log comes loose from the truck, right through Officer Burke. So then, technically, he should be the first one, right? And then it goes. Eugene would be the next one, right? He spins out his motorcycle and he lands in front of one of the logs and then gets smushed with the motorcycle, right? Kind of. And then we have Rory, who is in his car. It crashes. It explodes. Same thing with Kat, I think, and I believe Tim and Nora crash because one of the water bottles that Tim is using as drumsticks, goes underneath the brake and she can't get it, so it crashes. Evan gets the worst here because he crashes, but then there's like a fire, he's burnt, and then the big truck just comes smashing through him to crash into Kimberly's car. And then she snaps out of it. And she immediately, there's Highway to Hell on the radio, some kids in a car doing this, some dude drinking beer while driving a beer truck, some kids in a school bus are going, pile up, pile up, pile up. Yeah, they're heavy on the hints here, very much. She freaks out, and Officer Burke tries to figure out what's going on. Other people are getting pissed off. He's like, return to your cars. And then here comes the truck. It happens. The truck comes and just smashes in to Kimberly's car. And I remember when I watched it, like, wait, no. They were supposed to die last. Why did they die first? Because I was pissed, because I recognized some of these people. I'm like, what? I didn't mean to sound like that. What? No, I was looking forward to these people. No, they're all dead. Imagine that. We're going to hire you. You're dying in one of the first scenes of the movie, so. Doesn't everyone die in one of the first scenes in the movie? No. You're going to stay dead. You're not coming back. Yeah. Which is why I get confused. Because in the first one, it took 39 days before people started dying. Here, it's right fucking away. And in the third one, it takes a little while. It's not right away. But a little while. Then the fourth one, it's right away again. But then again, same directors for 1 and 3, same directors for 2 and 4. So, and 5, it does take a little bit, but I like it when it takes a little bit and not right away, because it's like, what's the point of that person getting out of there then, right? I think I'm good with this now. So, everyone right back to the police station, and Kimberly tries to think that it was like what happened with Flight 150, or 180, 180. Eugene tells the story what happened, so we can recap everything. And he thinks it's a bunch of bullshit. But, Evan just won a goddamn lottery. David Petko's character. He goes home with a bunch of stuff he bought. And that's smart. You won the lottery. Let's spend it all right away, right? Now, I can't say I wouldn't try, but I wouldn't spend it all, depending on what I got. Say I won the lottery, you get $50. Hey, okay, here we go. Who's won the lottery and you got $50 on? It depends, right? This is where the Rube Goldberg things, and again, I have a bigger problem with in 4, but it's the same director. David R. Ellis decided we need them to be more elaborate. So here, he's trying to make Chinese food. A magnet falls in. He puts it in a microwave. It starts going off. His hand gets stuck in the garbage disposal when he drops a ring down there because he's got a watch on. Why not try to reach it with the other one? Doesn't have the watch on, but he gets stuck in there. So you think, oh, he's going to die in a fire. No, he gets out. But he's not able to get out. All the doors closed because, again, Death is trying to push it. And it doesn't do it the rest of the movie. So just like the first one, we have Death forcing something and then, because of Todd's neck cinched up. But, like, here, it's just like, he does get out to the fire escape. Can't get it to come down. And I noticed something this time. He jumps. He forces it to go down. And when he gets down, it goes back up. Why does it go back up? It wouldn't go back up. I guess if he had enough momentum for him to fall down, it would bounce back up. I don't know. But it goes back up, it stays there. He slips on his spaghetti he threw out earlier, which garbage is right there, man. And then he's like, because it goes, stops right before his eyes. And then somehow still has enough momentum to just through his face. Maybe there wasn't enough momentum, I don't know. But, yeah. But also, you gotta realize that the people in Final Destination aren't real people. They're made of Jello. I don't know if there's enough momentum to go through a guy's skull like that, but yeah, I don't know. It's a fun kill. Not my personal favorite. By the way, when I get to that, I was supposed to give my favorite kill for the first one, so I'll give my favorite kill for the first one and for the second one at the end, unless I forget again. I hope I don't, because I keep forgetting that. I didn't do that for any of the saws. I was doing a saw trap, but then I just kind of think I stopped because they started to suck. But anyway, but I think Chucky was before this, and I forgot. Or Freddy, Freddy was before this. Chucky I did, Freddy I didn't. I kept forgetting, and then. Anyway, so now this is all over the news. I like Roy's response. Hey man, you see that shit? I was in that shit. And then he sees what happened to Roy. Evan. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like he was all over it until he saw someone dying. Like, oh, whoa, whoa. So they all see this. And so now Burke goes to see Kimberly. And it's like, I tried to call you, but your dad said you were sleeping. And so he's talking to her. Well, she goes to see Clear, because they say Clear Rivers survived. We see Burke on the computer, and we learn that Alex died from a falling brick. Yes, Alex was incredibly fucking smarter than that. He wouldn't have fallen for that. But what can you do? Now it's been debated on what the problem was, and I looked it up. Apparently, it wasn't a pay dispute. There wasn't any issue. He didn't ask for more money. They didn't lowball him. Nothing. It was part of the narrative. They wanted it to go that way. They thought it would work. And to be honest, I would think by this point there would be only one person left. I would have preferred Alex. Would have made more sense to be Alex. And if there was no other reason other than for the narrative, sure. But I would find it more believable that Clear died after being hit with a brick. And Alex is blaming himself for it, because that would make sense. But I don't buy that Alex was dumb enough to let a falling brick. They could have come with something else. He was hit by a truck or something, right? But a brick, I don't know. So she goes to see Clear. And, nothing that can hurt her. But she's got tacks on the wall, holding up the pictures from 518 and everything. She basically explains what's going to happen to her, and she's ready to just let her die. Like, well, congratulations, you'll be the last to go. And then she's like, wait, you said that people die in the way that they were meant to in the vision, but my friends and I died last in the vision. He's like, backwards? But she basically tells her to fuck off, leave, whatever. So she does. That's when she meets up with Burke. And she then has the vision of the pigeons and knows that Tim and Nora are next. So there's another thing in contention here. Tim, what is going on with this kid? How old is he supposed to be? Apparently, he was supposed to be cast as younger, but they changed it. I don't remember hearing a reason, but I can assume it's because they made the kid older, so it would be less, disturbing to see a kid character die. This is a teenager. We saw teenagers die in the last one, so yeah. So he's going to see the dentist, and the dentist is like, "When I was younger, just a bad little kid. My mama told me funny things I did." No. I am your dentist. I'm your dentist. No. No. But I've seen this dentist before. Let's see if he's on here. Dr. Lees. Fred Henderson is Dr. Lees. Fred Henderson. I know that name. Delete. Keep the F for Fred. Fred Henderson. Fred Henderson. Yeah, I know him. Relation to Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Whoa. Hold on now. What? He was on the X-Files, no surprise there. Chief Engineer. He must have been on the boat, I guess. Legions. He was on Superman Lois. Jonathan Kent Sr. Clark, 70 years. Jonathan Kent Sr. Totally Killer. Oh, right. He was Norm Dubosage. Chris Dubosage's father that he kills in the past timeline that fucks up the future, and that should have caused a paradox, but doesn't. That's right. That's where I've seen him before. Supergirl. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna keep looking at it. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, he's... Wow. So yeah, he's talking to him, and then pigeons start to break through the window. Again, this is another one of those things where there's a leaky pigeons breaking through the window. The fish tank is leaking, and that doesn't go to anything. The gas, there's an electrical shock that makes the gas activate and put him into deep sleep. The fish tank falls, lands in his throat, is going to suffocate him. And that leads to nothing because he ends up getting squashed by the thing outside. Due to the pigeons, but... I don't know. This is another good kill, by the way. It's not my favorite, but it's a good one. He just... Like the pigeons! He goes like this to get the pigeons and then looks up. They stop Nora from going. So I thought first time I saw this was, oh, they saved her. It's going to skip her. But it doesn't. And the only reason it doesn't skip her, because they should die at the same time, by the way. The only reason it doesn't skip her is because they didn't want to have to come back to her later. That's the only thing I can think of, is they didn't want to have to come back to her later. They could just, I don't know how they're, I guess the way they had it structured, there wouldn't be a way to fit that kill in there. They could have had her be the one. Because who comes after her? It's Cat, right? So, yeah. I would think. But, yeah, but, no. So they all reconvene. No, we're not done yet. After what happens to Tim, they go back to Kimberly's house, and Clear's just there, and they say, "Hey, let's have another unnecessary Tony Todd cameo." And again, if this wasn't Tony Todd, if it was Joe Blow Nobody, people wouldn't remember this. It really adds nothing. He adds nothing to this from this scene, right? They go to him. He tells them, "You can't escape death," and he's like, "They're like, yeah, bullshit. You told us that last time." And he's like, "Well, only a new life can defeat death." And they're like, "Oh, what does that mean?" And he's just like, "Hee hello, my baby. Hello, my honey." That's just it, you know. I don't know. It's nice to have him in here because he's the Candyman. It's Tony Todd. He's fantastic. But his scenes don't mean anything. They really don't here. He has more impact in the next one. And he's not even physically there. So then they all reconvene at Burke's apartment. It's a nice apartment. Everyone is there. And they try to tell him what's going on. No one believes in. I like Eugene. I call it bullshit. I've been listening to your stories, and I think it's all bullshit. And then that's when the thing flies down and tries to kill Clear. I do it every time. Clear. Has to kill Clear. And they still don't really believe it. Everyone helps to baby-proof the house. Safety-proof, whatever. Make it safety it. And Aurora's like, "No, I'm going home." And you just like, "I'm going to." Then why did they spend all that time baby-proofing it? And Cat's like, "I'm going out for a smoke." So like everyone can see signs, much like with Clear saw the bus at the end of the last one. So while putting stuff away, I'd be like Rory too, where you have to put there's a whole bunch of shit in the closet. He's like, he goes to do it. Now, yes, his hesitation does cause everything to fall. Because if you worry about something, the more likely you are for it to happen. If you are trying to, like, let's say you have a glass of hot water, or like, let's say you have a glass of water, you don't want to spill it. So the more you try not to, the more you worry about it, the more it's just gonna spill. So the more he's trying not to cause something to happen, it's gonna happen. Then he sees a man with hooks. This always makes me do this because, oh my god, it's so blunt. It's so blunt. So Eugene and Nora are in the elevator with the guy that has the hooks, the man with hooks, so to speak. Eugene gave her the walkie-talkie thing, or the little cell phone thing to talk to Burke. Burke contacts her and just says, "A man with hooks is going to kill you." Really? You don't want to use it. Hey, Rory saw hooks. So we think something to do with hooks will have to do with your death. But he just called, "A man with hooks is going to kill you." How do you expect her to react? She freaks out. Her hair gets caught on the hooks as a result of her freaking out. Then she tries to leave. We saw earlier, I forgot one of my favorite scenes, when Rory shows up to the apartment. He's in the elevator with that guy. And he gets his foot stuck in there, and he's carrying the shoe. He's like, "Is that dog shit, dude?" He puts a shoe on. "You got something." "I take care of it." Let me. What? Yeah. But yeah, we learn from that the elevator will close on you right away. I've been closed on by elevators. They don't close on me, but I get squished a little bit. Not my head gets stuck in and it moves. No. By the way, I do want to point out an inconsistency. The door opens. She tries to leave. Nobody presses the goddamn button to go anywhere. The only thing I can think of is that they were supposed to go to multiple floors, and the man with hooks pushed one button, and they pushed another. Which means this was probably his stop, and they were going to leave. I don't know. You think they'd be where is he coming from then? Because unless they're going up first to drop him off and then back down. I don't know. Clear goes up the stairs, right? But no, they're on the main floor because Kat comes in from outside from smoking and sees this, and Claire comes down the steps. So they're trying to help her, and they're pushing her ass up. Like, what are they trying to do? Push her back in the elevator? I get you probably wouldn't know what to do, but of course she gets a decapitation. Yes, now this is a decapitation, not like with Billy Hitchcock. Billy Loomis. Wrong movie, wrong franchise. Billy Hitchcock. No, she gets a pure decapitation, and I love Eugene's reaction. He freaks out. He somehow pushes the button and uses the elevator to go all the way back to Burke's apartment. You ain't controlling me. I control my destiny. He grabs Burke's gun, shoots it 6 times. You don't keep it loaded? He opens it. They're all in there. Maybe they're duds. 6 in a row? That's impossible. It's not his time. Right? It's not his time. Although, yeah, okay, so I know that when McKinley makes the speech in 3, he doesn't know. But the filmmakers, the writers know that it wouldn't work. But it's just anyway, they don't. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, I also forgot an important part. So they figure out after they pick up Clear, before they go to the thing, after they find about the new life, they think about Isabella. Because Kimberly has another vision, shows her a white van, and Burke's like, oh, there was a white van on the on-ramp. On the freeway. It was a pregnant lady in there. If she gives birth to something that was supposed to... I like it when they... they give birth to a baby that wasn't supposed to live. I don't know what Burke is trying to say. James A. Janice thinks he's going, well, I think he's going, well, if she gives birth to a baby that was supposed to die in a pileup, well, it does also like wolf. And I went to the scene, I had the subtitles on, nothing. When he does that, there's no subtitles. So I went to HBO Max and I watched it there. Still nothing when it came up. No subtitles came up when he did that. I assume it's, well, not woof. Well, I also want to point out the asshole lighting a cigarette by the gas. Where you fill gas? Come on, don't. So now everyone they put out an ABB for Isabella, and the cops arrest her. So now they're all driving together to go there. I think it's where they're on their way to the police station. Right? And this is where we get some lore, some backstory, connections to the Flight 180. That kind of don't make sense when you think there's supposed to be 3 more people involved in this. But we find out, Burke already explained that he was dispatched to clean up Billy Hitchcock after the train, after he got decapitated, kind of. So here we find out, there was... so this one's always confusing. Eugene said that he's a teacher, and a student took a knife to school to kill a teacher. Teacher was supposed to be him, but he had been transferred to Mount Abram. And we found out later that it was Mount Abram, and the teacher he replaced was Val Lewton. However, he would have survived either way, because she was supposed to die earlier. So if she died when she was supposed to, he would still have been transferred, but earlier. This one has never made sense to me. He would have been transferred and be transferred earlier. So it doesn't make sense. Right? Or would he not have been the one that was transferred? I don't get it. I never got it. Rory saw Carter be hit by the falling sign. He says last year, but no. If we calculated things right, it would have been earlier that year, or at least December-ish of the year before, so close to last year. It would have been a few months ago, not because right, there's a 6 month gap between the events of the original, and then the ending. It's 6 months in between that. So if you think that's June, I calculate July, August, September, October, November, December. So it's December that they're going on this trip, right? 6 months later. I know some people say, well, maybe it's August since the leaves are falling on the ground. That would still put it in February then. I'm just saying, it would still be close to that year. But no, he's caught to get whacked by this falling sign. Yeah, Kat was on a bus that hit Terry Chaney. And Kimberly saw the news report on Todd and was distracted, and her mom got mugged and murdered in the parking lot. And she's like, if I had been there, I would have died too. And I'm like, no. Again, because I thought about this. If she had been there, that means there would be 2 women, 2 guys. You'd think they'd be able to fight them off better. I don't know. She said there's these kids. She didn't say how many there were. So maybe not, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so that establishes these characters' connections to the characters from the first one. What about Tim, Nora, and Evan? And for that matter, at this point, Isabella, even though we know she's not really connected. What are their connections? Was Evan on the bus? Was Evan also in France? Were Tim and Nora at the mall? I don't know how those connect, because they came up with this twist. It's so far into the movie, halfway maybe. And after we get this out, they have a car accident in which the deputy, because Isabella goes into labor, I love his reaction. No, Chappelle, I need the car. He was also in The Flash, and he was also on Smallville. Was he one of the deputies in the episode where Chloe gets kidnapped and Lana has the vision? I think he was the good deputy, not the evil one, I don't think. I don't remember, but I'm not going to look it up. Actually, yes, I am. Not connected. Aaron Douglas is Deputy Steve Adams. It's him. He was an X-Men 2 Striker soldier. Started at issue 1. Smallville. Deputy Michael Berdego Pierce. 2 episodes. He's in 2 episodes. He's one of those that play multiple roles. Anyway, they're on the way to the hospital when they come across the car crash. And I'm sitting here thinking, what if he was able to get out and go over there and find out it's them? Well, I got Isabel. She's in the van right there. No. Eugene's lung gets pierced, and there's a pipe behind Kat that's very spiky. Everyone else is fine. So they get out, and this family. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it tilted. This family shows up, the Gibbons. Mr. Gibbons was Howard in the original My Bloody Valentine. And Brian Gibbons, his son, is Noel Fisher, who you may know from Shameless, but I know him as Michelangelo from the Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtles movies. We can still have occult conversations. My girlfriend's totally the Hogosha. I have a secret stash of Orange Crush. Don't tell Raph. Okay. See? It's fine. See? We're okay. Yeah. Yeah, so they come to help. Brian tries to move the log and it doesn't work. Yeah, it's kind of crushing her. They took Eugene in the ambulance because the deputy called the ambulance. And they won't let Clear go with, for no other reason other than she has to go with the rest of them. I get she doesn't really need to be there. She could go with him. And then she's waiting outside the room at the hospital later and runs to. We can still have that. I like when she's like, so Rory saves Brian. This is an important plot point because I'm going to rant on this later. Rory saves Brian. This is the first time that these movies have inconsistency. Or a plot hole. This is not much a plot hole as one from the third one, but anyway. And then they're trying to get Kat out. So, these fucking idiots with this thing. First of all, she's like, hey, can you be more quiet? She goes, I'll put it on silent mode. You do that. And immediately goes like this. Activating the airbag and causing her head to go right through that spike. Why would you be so reckless with it? And she drops her cigarette. It rolls down the gas that had broken out from the news van's gas tank. Blows up, cuts the fence to fly, hits Rory. He falls into 3 different pieces. He's fantastic, and yes, it's a great kill. I love it. He's just like, Because he already asked Kimberly, hey, you're gonna die before. I'm gonna die after you, right? I'm gonna die before you, right? So if I die before you do, go to my place. Here's my keys. Go to my place. Get all my drugs, my paraphernalia, my porno. And get rid of it before Mom can see it. I don't think she does that. But anyway, they decide to have to get to the hospital now. So they go because they find out Isabella is in labor. And they're trying to make sure they save the day. Saving the day. On the way there, Kimberly has a vision. Why would you let the girl who has visions die? It makes no sense. Because then she does a swerve. She has visions. She's a white van going to the river. So she thinks something is going to happen to... Or is that earlier she sees a white van going to the river? I think here she sees Kalargian. She thinks someone named Kalargian is going to... Dr. named Kalargian is going to strangle Isabella. Yes, that's stupid, but... That's what it looks like. I'll give you all credit. That's what it looks like. They get to the hospital. They're just able to waltz around the hospital however they want. I guess he's a police officer, so... I'm police officer. Have some raisin bran. By now, you would have seen that video I did. So, because I was thinking I'm recording this before that's going to be live on the channel. But then this will be live after it anyway. So, you get there... Isabella has the baby. They think it's over. We have this root thing. This actually doesn't make sense with all this stuff unplugging and Eugene not being able to breathe. And then all of a sudden it resets. There's a backup. Everything is fine. But then she has another vision. Nope. There's fire. There's Kalargian with the EKG machine. And what is going on? It didn't work, and we found that new life means that someone finds new life after surviving a horrible accident. So she decides that she's going to drive the van into the river. By this point, I guess, Clear has reached Eugene's room, caused the whole thing to explode, and they're both dead. So she takes the van, she goes get Kalargian, takes the van, goes to drown. It's not her turn. Her plan is to die, then be resuscitated back, right? It's not her turn. Except it is. You see, eagle-eyed viewers might catch that when the explosion happens, a gurney goes flying at her and Burke, and she grabs Burke and flings them both, takes them both down to the ground. Yeah, she saved him, so it is her turn. So for all those people who say this wouldn't work because it's not her turn, it is her turn. The gurney would have killed Burke, and probably her too. But 2 for 1, 2 birds, 1 stone. But yeah, it would have killed him. So yeah, that explosion would have killed all of them. Technically, get them all at once. Wouldn't be the last time you get something like that. But yeah. So it works because it wasn't her turn, but or it wasn't his turn anymore. People say it was his turn. No, because she ducked. She pulled him out of the way. They ducked down. So yeah, Kalargi resuscitates her. You think it's all over, but then we get bullshit. And I'm telling you, this is a rant. So Kimberly Burke and Kimberly's father are having dinner with the Gibbonses. They're having a barbecue. They bring up, oh, your friend Rory, he saved Brian. And then Brian fucking explodes. Nope. Wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. You see, here's the thing. Okay? So all these deaths, when someone's life is saved, it's because they were supposed to die and they changed this design. But here's the thing. They weren't supposed to be in the field that day, so Brian was never supposed to die. So him exploding at the end is just a cheap pop at the end of the film to get people one last time before the movie ends. But it makes no sense. Because he shouldn't have been there wouldn't have been anything in that field that day. It would have been fine had they all died in the pileup. So that makes no sense. It's never made any sense to me. He shouldn't be dead. They just wanted to pop at the end. So, but yeah, another one. Pretty good. So my favorite kill from the first one is Billy Hitchcock. Right? And this one, my favorite one is Rory. I like the explosions, I guess. But yeah, this was still a good one. This was long. This is not an hour yet. It's still not an hour, but yeah. So what are your thoughts on Final Destination 2? Let me comment, let me share, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.